Hey, welcome back. I hope that you've had some time to reflect on what you've learned from my first episode and maybe even work on some note reading exercises on the resources page. By themselves, notes really don't do too much, but they do offer the audience variation on pitch. But it's when you include rhythm by way of changing note values do you really start creating music. Today is all about note duration with a brief introduction to rhythm. Note duration is simply the length of pitch where the length is represented by a type of note. In order to understand the concept, let's look at these note types. Here is a whole note. Notice how it looks like just a circle or an oval on its side. Well, a whole note placed on the staff will mean that the specific pitch, in this case D, will be played for 4 beats. In other words, 4 counts. The speed of these beats, or counts, are dictated by the tempo, or speed of the piece. If the speed is set to 60 beats per minute, which is technically the same as 1 second, a whole note then would be held for 4 beats, or 4 seconds. Okay, now that we understand what a whole note looks like and means, it's time to look at the half note. Like its name implies, the half note is worth half of the value of a whole note, 2 beats. If the speed or tempo of the piece was set to 60 beats per minute or 1 second, then a half note would be held for 2 seconds. Next, we encounter the quarter note. As seen in our previous video explaining the staff and note reading, the quarter note is held for a value of 1 beat. Whatever beat per minute the speed is set at, the quarter note will be set to the exact same speed. For example, if we have a 60 beat per minute piece, then our quarter note will be held for 1 second. We actually have 2 more note values to go, but before we do, I would like to try a couple of rhythms. A rhythm is simply a musical sentence of note values, and that's it. Here's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Here's the second one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. If you didn't get that the first time, just rewind back the video and give it a try again. As you can see, rhythms must be applied to something that is constant underneath. Did you notice that when I was clapping, I was also counting numbers? I was counting a number every beat per minute so I could line up my beats. Here's an analogy I always tell my students to help them understand how rhythm works. Do you remember the last time that you may have played in a video arcade? If you do, maybe you remember that there was a game, and that game would move lights around in a circle, and when the light matched a certain zone, you had to hit the button precisely at that moment to win the prize. Now, fractions of a second earlier or later could result in no prize at all. If you don't remember the game, that's okay, but understanding the concept of the game is enough. Rhythm is really about this game. The lights represent the underlying beats per minute, and hitting the button is like playing the rhythm. It only counts when it's lined up. Alright, let's introduce 2 more note values, the 8th note and the 16th note. The 8th note is just an eighth the duration of a whole note. Just as an aside, the notes are really named from fractions taken from the whole note. An easier way of thinking about it is that it's worth half the value of a quarter note, or half the value of 1 beat. Another way of looking at it is that it would take 2 eighth notes to earn the value of a quarter note, or 1 beat. Here's an example. If we had the speed of 1, 2, 3, 4 for quarter notes, then the eighth notes would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's all there really is to the eighth note. Here's a quick tip. Any note can actually have a dot placed right after it and it will change its value. The dot adds half of the value to the note it's applied to. So for example, a dotted whole note would earn the value of 6 beats, which is 4 for the whole note plus half, 2, 4 plus 2 being 6. A dotted half note then would be worth 3 beats, a dotted quarter note would be worth 1.5 beats, and a dotted eighth would be worth 3/4 of a beat, which is half plus a quarter of a beat. Adding dots to rhythms makes rhythm exciting and gives the composer more flexibility in writing. No matter what genre you listen to, you have dotted notes to thank for it. Okay, so the last value of note that we're going to be covering today is the 16th note. The 16th note is worth quarter of a beat, and this means that it takes 4 16th notes to make up just one beat. So here's the breakdown. If our quarter notes sound like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, then our eighth notes will sound like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, each beat then being divided by 2. Then our 16th notes will sound like this, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, which is each beat being divided by 4. When you combine these note durations, you have a creative outlet with infinite possibilities. Well, maybe not infinite, but pretty close. If you want more practice, look for my rhythm book on the website. It will cover beginner to advanced rhythms so you can get really good at it. To finish this video, let's read 4 more rhythms together. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try another one. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2E and a 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3E and a 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay, let's try one more. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3E and a 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. If you would like a nice breakdown of the note values, head over to our resources page and look for the rhythm pyramid chart. This will really help you put things into perspective. Okay, that concludes our note values and rhythm introduction video. We'll see you in the next one.